Hey guys, it is the Oscar season, and you know what that means. It's time to get mad about something that's meant to be fun and exciting. So here I am, the Oscars is in just a week or two, and I am desperately trying to catch up with the movies that I wanted to see and haven't yet. But today I'm going to be talking about a specific category. So it's become a sort of yearly tradition for me and a few members of my family to go to the theaters around this time of year and watch the animated Oscar shorts. There's just something I really enjoy about the overall experience. I just like seeing a bunch of different, very unique short films playing all back to back. And of course, the experience can be a bit awkward given some of the more mature themes that are present, but overall, I think it's worth it. I think these are plenty of fun to watch even when they miss. So we ended up going to the theater and watching all of the nominated shorts for 2025, and my overall thoughts were they were fine. They were all just fine. I think with the Oscars, you really do get some years that are phenomenal, and then you're going to get a year that's not so great. And sometimes you'll get a diamond in the rough, but I don't think that was the case this year. These were all just completely okay. Like, I don't think any of them were bad. I just don't think any of them stood out to me. I've already forgotten most of them. Yeah, so this year may have been a flub, but you know what? There's always next year. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to rank all of these films that I watched, which I thought would be a simple thing, but considering that I don't really have strong opinions on any of them, it made this a lot harder. You could really rank these films in any order, and I'd just be like, sure, why not? Anyway, there were 5 nominees last year, so let's start with the obvious. Number 5, Wander to Wonder. Wander to Wonder. Yeah, anyone remember that? You guys remember Wander Over Yonder? Wish I was watching that instead. Okay, so this movie wasn't all bad. This is a collab between Belgium, France, the Netherlands, and the UK, and it's directed by Nina Gantz. Ironically enough, this was actually the film I was most excited to see. It was the only one I'd actually heard of, and really just because it had like the coolest concept. It was about a children's show creator and host, think like a Mr. Rogers or a Captain Kangaroo type, who pretty much dies in the studio, leaving his small puppet friends alone to fend for themselves. Puppets or monsters, I guess, they're kind of like they're like little people in monster costumes, which that's the part I really don't like. Now, I'm usually a sucker for these like darker takes on children's media. I think stuff like creepypastas, like even if I wouldn't admit it, I think when I was younger I really liked creepypastas. But I like seeing something that's innocent and there's something more sinister lying underneath. And from the first minute or two of this short film, I thought that this was going to be closer to something like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It was a lot more comedic than I expected. And there's little bits of comedy here and there in this. For one, there's a character named Fumbleton. I don't know if that in itself is a joke. I just think Fumbleton's a funny name. He's even voiced by Toby Jones, so that's pretty cool. But I think with this short, the thing I had trouble getting past was just the concept of the puppets on the show actually being small people in costume, which I don't get the point of that. Like, if they're already monsters, why didn't you just make them little monsters? Why are they people in costumes? Like, I know children's shows usually have people in costumes like dressed as the monsters or as Barney or whatever, but like, I don't know, it just confused me. How is there small people? Why is there small people? In the end, it doesn't really matter. I think I'd be able to look past that aspect if I thought the film was a bit more creative. There was bits of creativity here and there, but I think that they had a really great concept and there just wasn't enough done with it. There's definitely nice animation, and the set designs were beautiful in just like this really grim way. And even though I didn't like this one very much, I will say the short was at least interesting. Like, you know, that counts for something. Number 4, Beautiful Men. So this is a Belgian, French, Dutch short film. It's directed by Nicolas Keppens. So while watching this, I somehow completely missed the part where they were brothers, which completely changes the context of this short film. And I'm not over exaggerating because there is so much nudity and ball touching in this. I don't think I'd really call it like gratuitous though. Like it feels like everything that's in here has a reason for being there. What that reason is, I couldn't tell ya. This is about 3 brothers that go to Turkey to get a hair transplant. They're all bald, they're all missing their hair. It has this very slice of life feel where they're just kind of battling each other's insecurities on the days leading up to their appointment. Yeah, and maybe I'm just an idiot, but like I watched this and I just didn't really know what I was supposed to get out of it. It just kind of washed over me. I vibed with it, sure. I actually liked the overall mood and just the beautiful animation. In a way, it reminded me of Anomalisa. Some of the visuals also had this sort of Lynchian feel to it, although I wouldn't really call this short all that surreal. But I feel like this is something where to fully understand it, I would have to watch it again. But there's nothing about it that really makes me want to watch it again, so yeah, I don't know if I ever will. Number 3, Magic Candies. So this is a Japanese short film. It's directed by Daisuke Nishio. This one is done by Toei. You know Toei. So it's a story about a kid who comes upon these magic candies with various patterns on them. And whenever he sucks on one, he can speak to an object that resembles that pattern. Now, this is actually a CGI short, which is kind of cool because it looks like it's stop motion. Like, it's truly incredible the amount of detail they can get in clothing now. I like this. I thought it was cute. It felt like a children's storybook. Yeah, that's pretty much what it felt like. Nothing really too impressive here, but nothing to complain about either. And being a short from Japan, there's a lot of kind of over-explaining what's going on when I think the visuals sort of speak for themselves. There's definitely humor here, pretty like innocent, like fart jokes and stuff, but nothing that I found like that funny. I did like the bit with the dog who is old and tired, and the boy getting to communicate with him at his old age was a neat concept. I kind of wish there was a whole short just about that. Yeah, I like this. It was good enough. Number 2, Yuck. No, I'm not saying that about the short. That is the short's title. This is a French film directed by Loïc Espouche. In a good year, Yuck would probably be near the bottom, but not this year. So this is a film about a little kid that finds kissing gross, so him and his friends kind of make fun of the adults as they kiss, until 2 of the kids get the desire to kiss themselves. So there's a whole gimmick to this one where whenever people want to kiss, their lips start glowing pink. This thing is so basic. It's exactly what you think it is. It feels like it could be an episode of a children's TV show. But I found this one just charming in its simplicity. Like, it doesn't try to do anything too out there. I really can't complain about this one. I thought it was harmless, and yeah, you know, I thought it was fine. It's about on par with Magic Candies. You could probably switch the 2 around, it'd be just fine. But this one was harmless. I enjoyed it. Number 1, In the Shadow of the Cypress. So this is an Iranian film. It was directed by Hossein Molemi and Shiren Sohani. This one is pretty good. Yep, I think this one's my favorite, which is not really saying a whole lot. This is kind of one of the safer Oscar picks. This is a silent film. It's told through these visuals that I want to say kind of resemble Google art, but not exactly. It's an art style that I've seen before, but it's still more unique than the other shorts. It's about a father and daughter who live by the ocean, which, by the way, I thought it was a husband and wife when I was watching it. But the father was once a sea captain, and he is suffering from PTSD after his entire ship and crew sank in the sea. And I like how this one is done visually. Like, it will have these calmer moments where the main character himself is calm, but then as soon as his PTSD kicks in, this blue shade takes over and everything becomes a lot more aggressive. There's also a beached whale that washes ashore, and that's kind of the inciting incident of this film. The father has to overcome his PTSD in order to help out this whale. Like most of these shorts, it's very simple. It feels familiar. It feels like something I've probably seen before, but I think I'm just a sucker for visual storytelling. I liked a lot of what this did. I like the animation style enough. The themes themselves were pretty apparent here. I mean, anything that acknowledges the struggles of a mental disorder is usually good. Emphasis on usually. Yeah, not a whole lot to say on this one either. I just thought it was nice. You know, I guess if I had to pick one to win the Oscar, I guess it would be my pick, but I'm also indifferent. My prediction here is that the absolute worst one will win, because that's what they did last year with the pigeon one. The one with the Yoko Ono and John Lennon song playing over it. And that was a good year too. Like, out of all of them, they picked that one. This is why we watch the Oscars, people. Maybe they'll pick Wander to Wonder. I could see them going with Beautiful Men, but, you know, I wouldn't really be upset this year if they went with either of those. So please don't go hating on this video just because we might have differing opinions, because, like I said, I really have no strong opinions on this one way or the other. I feel like nobody wants to talk about the fact that we have so many, like, great animated shorts via YouTube now. And I get that the Oscars has to have all of these eligibility rules, like these films had to be shown at film festivals, they had to have won awards. But sometimes I start to wonder if we've just moved past the Oscars at this point, like if we even need this. That's just my 2 cents anyway. Apologies, I was kind of cynical in this video. I guess I ruined the Oscar magic. This video is going to be out of date in about a week anyway, so who really cares? Good God, I'm just angry today. I'll see you next week to talk about movies or cartoons or whatever. Who really gives a shit? Anyway, until next time, see you guys.